Hey Virgos, welcome and welcome back to the Honey Sea Star Tarot, and welcome to Venus in Libra season in our second house. So Venus is going to be in Libra in our second house from October 13th all the way through November 6th. And let me tell you, if she is not your favorite planet by the end of October, I don't know what to tell you. But this is truly, when she's in Libra, in her home, in the second house for us, this is truly your heart's revolution. You are attracting all you desire, all you deserve, and you're never going to chase it again after Venus in Libra season. I'm just saying. But before we get started, I also want to say thank you guys to each and every one of you, truly, for all your love and support in every which way, your likes, subscribes, shares, comments, the donations, the Honey Sea Star purchases at the store. All of it truly makes a difference. Each one of you guys make me melt. You give me goosebumps, and I love you back. So let's get into it. Venus in Libra. Oh my goodness. So our planet of love, beauty, relationships, pleasures, values, finances is now in her home, in her domicile, which is amplifying her energy even further, standing in our second house. That's our house of worth. It governs money, income, financial security, tangible assets, self-worth, self-esteem, and showcasing your talents and your skills and your inner resources that sustain you, that light you up. And that's really where the heart's revolution starts. So while she's in Libra, she'll be offering us, thank you, oh my goodness, she'll be offering us this opportunity to bring more harmony into our relationships. And that's our relationships with ourselves, with our partnerships, our business partnerships, our commitments, just in general, and our relationship, big one, to our finances, our financial security, the income. So it's all tied together in this beautiful package that she's offering us that delivers it with harmony, helps us with exploring new ways to balance the divine masculine and the divine feminine within us, the yin and yang energies in our lives and within ourselves. So, particularly because she rules both Taurus and also Libra. Libra is basically the yang of the yin and the yang. So, she is basically in Libra associated with connecting us with new relationships that we form with ourselves, with other people, with our desires to create beauty, harmony, peace in our lives and around us. And with this double focus being like centered on finances, financial security, our values in ourselves, our value in what we hold most dear and how we hold it in our lives, how we cherish it, and our relationships. With her being in Libra in our second house, she's reminding us that beauty should not just be seen as a luxury, but instead that it's as we surround ourselves with it, with all the beauty, and we appreciate it, we cherish it, we let it nourish us and inspire us. It elevates our lives and attunes us to call in higher frequencies in our identity, in our state of consciousness, and in our manifestations. In this way, she opens the doors of the laws of attraction and reciprocity, where we stop chasing and we start receiving through attraction. And that goes with money, love, security, and it's all tied to how we perceive our value, the value in the service we provide when it comes to making and earning money, the value in our connections. This is an absolutely monumental time where she's going to revolutionize, your heart. And like I say, from this point forward, when she's done with us Virgos in our second house in Libra, this whole month of October going into November, you're going to be attracting because you're magnetized at this point. There's power in your words. There's power in your connections at a very deep level, especially with Mars and Mercury being in Scorpio in our third house. But she is going to be helping you with attracting all you deserve, all you desire, and you're never going to chase it again. It's not going to feel out of reach because you're going to understand with these beautiful epiphanies, these insights, how to firmly attract it, call it into your life, and let it flow freely towards you. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, because right away from the cosmos, this is where Spirit is saying, stop looking outside yourself for the answers. You already know them. You know what it is. You know what your heart's desires are. You know how to get them. And more importantly, you know how much you're worth. You know you're worth all your desires and more. It's not about just being enough, knowing that you're enough, knowing that you're capable. It's knowing that standing in your vibrancy, shining your light in all the beautiful brilliance that makes you uniquely you, makes you not only enough, it makes you more. You're too amazing to follow everyone else. This is the time to forge your own path. Stop giving your power away right now. And more importantly, stop going against what is and align with it. Move on. Attract and receive. Breathe and receive, because your life is so special. This season is all about treating it with loving care. So if that just gave you goosebumps like it did me, oh my goodness, by all means, share your thoughts in the comments below. Put a heart in the comments below, because like I say, Venus is this beautiful planet this month. And going in, like I say, all the way through November 6th, where she's got something truly special for us in such a prolific way. And it's very nurturing. It's going to open you up to a heart's revolution. So since, let's talk about money, because this is a big one for Venus, especially in our second house. We've got Venus, the planet of money and finances. In our second house, our house of worth, income, salary, assets, money, right? So there's a lot of focus on this. So since money is something that's socially, culturally inheritive, been instilled with us to have this negative connotation towards it. There's these, these fun sayings of like, eat the rich, right? Or don't eat the rich, starve the rich. There's all this negative connotation that it has planted within us socially. So let's focus there for a moment. So there is a lot that we've inherited in our current days, especially now with so much volatility in the stock market, in our infrastructures, our systems, right? Our banking system, our housing system, our governments in a lot of ways, and economically. I mean, where to put your money right now with so much volatility, where everything seems like it's not necessarily what it is, or people are manipulating things, right? Farther out of your control. There's this thing going on, and has been going on for quite some time, where there's these negative relationships that we've inherited when it comes to how we think of money, how we experience money, how we treat money, especially when it comes to consumerism. So because we've experienced all of this, the real root is to understand what is money and why. Right? Why we have these negative connotations to them. Because that's where, when you're manifesting, especially with finances, it could very well be deflecting everything that you're trying to call in. So where we've experienced this is because we've seen what many people that are in control, how they've used that money, how they've used it to hold themselves and value themselves above humanity or above equitability. Take advantage with exploitation, in our humanity and of our humanity, in our needed resources, our staples, right? Looking at inflation, looking at your energy costs, looking at housing costs, for instance. When you look at money in general, though, money is just truly a stabilized value that we've attached to an energy flow. It's neither good nor is it bad. It's just energy in tangible form that we use for trade. So how a person uses it isn't the money's fault or the influence. That person already had those actions, those negative connotations of exploitation within them. Money just helps them exacerbate it, helps them manifest it. This is where you're truly seeing through the decoys, right? The Seven of Cups is about having options. What to do with your money. How, if you were a millionaire, if you were a billionaire, how would you use your money? And we'll talk about it. We'll also talk about some key dates to pay attention to, so stay tuned. This is where going within, how you utilize money, your relationship with money truly makes a difference. And this goes not even just with money, this goes with business partners, your relationships, what you have to offer, how you cherish, all your relationships focused at the center, which is you. Right? So this is standing in that Virgoan energy. This is also being exalted with Venus's love. Venus is going to open ourselves up to these insights of truly looking at how we define these relationships. And she's going to do a whole heck of a lot more than that. So where we're finally looking at the root causes, right? Where maybe we've been blaming money, holding things against, or this negative connotations like against money, grudges against money as well, associating that everybody that's rich is truly evil, right? It just is an example. It's kind of a drama queen situation. But either way, this is seeing through all those temptations of consumerism, that you have to be in debt, right, to keep up with the Joneses. Seeing through all the the decoys, the superficialities of where you don't need a bajillion dollars to be happy, to truly cherish beauty, but more importantly, to also be wealthy. Remember, even in the Bible, when they talk about the wise men, they refer to the wise men as wealthy. They're wealthy in a lot of different ways, and that includes because they know the relationship of the energy flow, the laws of attraction and reciprocity, and the importance of that value with following their intuition, seeing through those delusions that not all glitters is gold, right? Or not everything that gold is glitter. Anyway, you know what I meant. But same thing, what comes to mind really is when I finished my floor, when I was first building my house, I did it on a shoestring budget. I had a concrete floor. Absolutely loved it, by the way, just saying. This is where, when I was finishing it, I had the opportunity to say, okay, well, how do I want to finish it, right? And so I debated on doing gold with this really amazing, like rust kind of situation, because I wanted to really leverage the darker colors for the passive solar design for the home, for natural heating, and for that core retention. When I meditated on it, though, the biggest thing that I found that came to mind was when I was looking at colors between gold and burgundy and rust versus my favorite colors, which is water. So teals, blues, greens, was not all that glitters is gold. But walking on water is a miracle worth praying for every day, and a miracle worth waking up to every day. That's where you're connecting beauty, love, romance, relationships, your tangible assets, your financial security, your talents, your skills, your inner resources on what lights you up with your spirituality, with that 7. This is seeing through all the befuddlement, seeing through the delusions, the fantasies, the superficialities, and instead walking forward with doors opening, with imagination, with your inspiration, and with your creativity. Because remember, this is Venus. She is our Renaissance planet, our planet of pleasures, values. She's in her domicile. She's amplified with love and beauty. It doesn't cost $1 million to have beauty surround you in your life. This is where you create the life you live. And like I say, I built my home on a shoestring budget. That's where, when you do these types of things, when you surround yourself with the beauty, with the laws of attraction, the laws of reciprocity, you're calling it in. You're never chasing it or chasing that dream that we've been sold as a falsehood, as a place of delusionment, to keep up with the Joneses, that we need to have over $100,000 in debt or more just to be able to live comfortably and to be happy. It's never looking outside yourself, but instead cultivating it. So we'll talk about this more. So this is where the reasoning, it's first understanding your relationships, right? Understanding your relationship with finances, with your security, with your partnerships, with your trust, how everything influences you and how you influence it, how you take care of it, how you nurture it. So how a person uses the money isn't money's fault, but I do want to mention this. So especially if you run a business or offer a service that's in some form of spirituality. There's a lot of times when you look at people that are in a place of spirituality, right? Especially in their business, where you can sometimes feel conflicted about receiving money for your service. And that doesn't have to be just spirituality, but when you have your heart poured into something, there can be this conflict sometimes about receiving money for your service. In fact, just to flip the scale, what Venus is really going to be opening our eyes to is that by not valuing that energy flow, the energy flow of your service, you're denying the world, in fact, the value that you have and are meant to offer. Sit with that for a moment. Put a heart in the comments below if that resonates with you, because this is where you're looking at harmonizing multiple responsibilities and balancing your energy, your relationship with energy, And remember, money is just a tangible form of value, stabilized value that we use for energy flow trade. You're tapping into this unlimited potential and unlimited possibilities and building structure around it with that Capricorn energy, especially since it's associated with Saturn, and being blessed with Jupiter, lifting it up. So it's changing that energy flow and how you perceive money, how you perceive your finances, how you perceive your relationships with everything around you, business partnerships, tangible assets, the relationship with yourself even, self-worth, self-esteem, your talents, what you have to offer, valuing it, and balancing the divine masculine and the divine feminine, the yin and yang within you and within your lives. So this is absolutely freeing in a beautiful way. So this is where, like I say, if you receive money, if you look at money in a different way, with the dualities, right? It's neither good nor bad. But when you balance and accept those polarities and recognize that the power is within, the choice is yours in how you perceive it, how you receive it, how you choose to either attract it or chase it. Same thing with your decisions and your desires. If you spend a whole life chasing your desires rather than attracting them to you, right? One is effortless, one is attuned, one is aligned, where one, everything that you chase in life is always going to inherently, energetically repel from you or run away from you. So this is always looking at things that are out of reach versus knowing that they're obtainable and calling them in. And remember, with Venus, you're magnetized. You're magnetizing things to you. That's what this energy is so eye-opening about. And Venus is here every step of the way from October 13th all the way through November 6th, helping Virgos truly unlock the secrets of their manifestations when it comes to wealth, when it comes to love, when it comes to romance, when it comes to stability and security and self-worth and showcasing your talents. So she's asking us to look at how we feel about money, and more importantly, to open our eyes up, shine the light with the hermit here as well through introspection, contemplation, our relationship with money. So she's asking us to look at asking ourselves, if we were to feel that money is our friend instead of our enemy, how would we treat her or him? How would we honor money? How would we respect money? With our spending, with what we choose to trade it for, with how we invest in it and with it, what we do with it. Asking us if we hold any grudges toward it from the past experiences, and seeing how other people, businesses, corporations have used it to exploit us, have used it to exploit our families, our communities. And again, it's not money's fault. It's just the energy flow, the trade value. So if you're a good person and you have $1 billion, ask yourself, what would you do with it? How would you use it to benefit yourself, to provide for your family, the ways it would help you support your community, create stability in your life, provide a home, provide food, and also provide experiences in your life. Because remember, we're all here in these conscious bodies for the experience, the lessons. Open your eyes and your heart wider. That's what Venus is asking us. And this is coming to a great lesson of completion where you're achieving your goals, integrating these lessons, and ending a cycle of lack mindset or poverty mindset in such a big way with Venus in Libra. This is the time where she's going to be shifting our perspectives. And so if instead you wake up and say, rather than saying eat the rich or starve the rich, or I wish I had that, or I'm never going to achieve that, or oh my gosh, it would be nice to have, that dream house on the lake. Instead of saying it would be nice to, you're waking up and saying, oh my goodness, I can't wait to have that. And more importantly, we'll talk about how to truly change that dynamic. Waking up and saying, you know what, I am so grateful for the money that I have, that I receive. Every dollar I spend, I know it's going to come back to me tenfold, because the value in what I offer is opening that door. And every dollar that I spend helps to support the community that I love. I love what money can do for me. I love that I'm able to spend it at my local grocery store, or with my local car repair mechanic, or buying my local Girl Scout cookies because that's my neighbor's daughter. It's all of this energy. and it changes the perspective, right? And the same goes for the service that you provide to the collective. So the biggest shift in changing your relationship from moving to attracting versus chasing, because everything you chase, I'll say it again, will always run from you, right? So this is where the first thing to do is to remove yourself from what you want to achieve as the motivation in your service. So say, just as an example, say you've got a YouTube channel. Is your reason, the whole reason why you started a YouTube channel, just as an example, because you're gonna start every video with the idea of, I want this to get 30,000 views so that I can receive $7,000 a month. That's why I'm doing it. That's my motivation, right? That's basically in the same way I want is opening the door for retraction, for chasing after rather than attracting. Instead, look at your motivation. Remove yourself from what you want to achieve as the motivation in your service, and instead focus on doing your best in what you provide as a service. Because providing the best that you are, the best value that you can offer to the best of your ability in everything you do, in your partnerships, in your work, your service, this is when that energy flow starts changing from a focus of what you don't have to receiving the best value that money, beauty, life has to offer. And if that just gave you goosebumps and made your ears start ringing like mine, put a heart in the comments below, because this is where we start changing the energy from the Three of Swords over to taking action towards attracting rather than chasing with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, right? So this is overcoming sorrow. It's mending the heart. It's healing those relationships, moving to a place of letting go, releasing, but moving towards a place of growth. With the Ace of Swords as well, this is the start of something new, and it's new perspective, it's creative energy, it's inspiration, and it's opportunity that's welcome change that brings in good news. And so I'll say it kind of at a deeper level. So when you look at YouTube, just as an example, and I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but when you look at it, actually I'll take YouTube off the table. So when you look at anyone that provides a mastery of craft, right? Say, I don't know, say we're in a dance competition, right? And we've got two unicorns. You've got a unicorn that was bred for dancing. You've got a unicorn that's trained for dancing since they were 3 years old. They are a master at what they do, and they know exactly what they're doing, right? They know so much that they can operate doing a beautiful dance, blindfolded with their eyes closed, paying half attention. Well, because they're operating from their ego, when you look at that person versus, or unicorn versus another unicorn that basically has never danced in their life, or had formal training, I should say, but always has loved to dance. Dances to their own music, dances while they work, dances while they clean, dances while they, I don't know, while they sleep. No formal training though, right? And one has been like totally bred for this. Well, when these two go out on the dance floor, one has their heart in it, right? Their soul, there's imperfections. Their feet aren't necessarily shaped with the right tip up or whatever. I'm not a dancer. You know, their pirouettes are not perfect, but they have that passion behind them, and it's something that liberates their soul. It lights them up. They do their best because they love it, right? They know their value in the service that they provide. That's what they're made to do versus what they're bred to do. Well, this unicorn, because he knows that he can do it, right? He's done it since he was 3. He's got everything perfect because he's been trained to do it, and he can do it with his eyes closed. Which one, if one dances their heart out and one comes on stage and basically does everything perfect but isn't moving, which one do you respond to? Which one do you value? Which one emotionally captivates the crowd? Which one attracts the positive energy? One that has the confidence, that is basically only putting in half the effort because they could also be burned out and they don't have passion behind what they do. Or one that has all these mistakes, sure, in all their imperfections and all their uniqueness, but they've got so much heart and soul into it. They've got this passion behind it. They captivate this audience. They make it so that you can't look away. Which one do you receive? That's what the universe is doing as well. So this is where Venus is lighting us up in Libra season, our heart's revolution, creating authentic peace so that you are attracting all you desire and all you deserve and never chasing it again. This is where you're looking at any lost opportunities, money lost, delays, and why. What could possibly energetically be detracting it, retracting it, causing it to run away from you, cause instability, cause greed, cause overspending. Again, it's what motivates you, what makes you tick, what you put into it. And when you do your best, when you provide your best value at the best of your ability, in everything you do that you offer in your service, being a sign of service as Virgos, in your partnership, in your work, in your service, this is when that energy flow changes from a focus on what you don't have to receiving the best that value, or the best value that money, beauty, life has to offer. You start attracting all the value, all the love that you pour into the seeds that you sow. This is the harmony that Venus in Libra season will be offering Virgos. And get ready to receive the balance of what you attract through the harmony in your relationships, in your partnerships, in your relationship with finances, how they contribute to your security, the insights in what your talents, your skills, your craft, your mastery truly has to offer to truly elevate you and the world around you in everything and everyone that you connect with. Venus will be refining our awareness in the patterns and the dynamics that play between ourselves and others, helping us reflect on how we give, how we receive, and how we, more importantly, co-create. And if that resonates with you, by all means, like I say, put a heart in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Because, thank you. Because this is truly where you're looking at all misfortune, all these defeats, all these endings, jealousy, hatred, treachery. And I will say, side tangent, if you don't have some haters, you're doing something wrong. That's a true reflection of you being in your sacral flow and where someone is trying to project onto you what they want, right? Because you've got something that you're offering that they can't or are not in the right flow to do. So it's looking at this and rising above it with the Ten of Pentacles, to transitioning your energy with a pinnacle of success, tribulation, through growth, through repetition, through cherishing what you do, and knowing, leveraging the laws of attraction and the law of reciprocation. So it's truly about not taking breadcrumbs, basically, in a lot of ways. So it's releasing backstabbers, hatred, treacheries, jealousies, any type of retaliation. This is releasing all of it and looking at your bright horizons, especially with adapting with grace, rising to the challenges, and knowing that when you do what you love, when you pour all your love into the seeds that you sow, you become your own renewable energy source. It's what lights you up, right? That's why it's not draining. That's why you're not burned out. This is standing your ground and knowing that you're in a favorable position. With Libra season, Venus in Libra season, I should say, it's divine inner fire. And remember, we've got Mars and Mercury in Scorpio in our third house right now. This is where Venus is in her home, Mars is in his home. I mean, he's standing in his man cave, right? He's drinking whiskey on the rocks. Like, this is top shelf kind of stuff. And then Venus is here. She's sitting here in her home. I mean, oh my goodness. We've got like blankets made into swans and elephants. And she's got maestros playing in the back. She's got a cabana boy giving her grapes while she's in the bath. This is all those comforts, and rising to the personal challenges and embracing the hidden wisdoms when it comes to your manifestations. And remember, with the solar plexus, this is about not only just knowing why you're here, what you're made to do, because it lights you up. It's what makes you you. It's also being inspiration in action. It's not about just being enough. It's not about just being capable. It's about being more. Shining in all the vibrancy in your peacock energy, standing your ground with tenacity, with bravery against any opposition, right? Fighting for what makes you tick. standing your ground, and more importantly, remembering, because you're doing what makes you tick, you're in an automatic favorable position. This is never chasing after what is unobtainable or what's been retracting, right? You're doing it for the reasons where it's connected in the same way that we all are, with creation consciousness, collective consciousness. So even when you look at like all the greats when it comes to revolutionary aspects, because Pluto just went direct as well, so stay tuned for that video. But this is where, say, like Einstein, even Steve Jobs, when he started like looking at all of these revolutionary ideas, right? When we truly have a great idea that only us are meant to do, a lot of times when you ask those people, like, how'd you come up with this? It's because they tapped in to something greater than themselves. That's what Venus is enlightening to. Your talents, your skills, your inner resources, and showcasing them in all your self-worth, and letting that attract and magnetize all the financial security, tangible assets, money, worth, income, pleasures to you. This is a place with the Four of Swords where it's lifting up and creating a stable foundation, a solid foundation through discipline, achievement, with Jupiter's blessing. Remember, optimism, luck, balancing the scales, your legacy, your long-term aspirations. This is where it's time to really look at those negative detractions. What's been holding you back on the inner side, more than just our South Node in Virgo can offer us, but how our relationships play such a refining role, such a nourishing role, such an inspirational role. And coming out in the 50-50, it's looking at all those temptations on the upright with the devil, all the vices, all the restrictions, the materialistic aspects that are tempting, right? All the pessimism as well about, oh, I'm never going to achieve this. How we talk to ourselves, how we cherish our relationship with ourselves, finances, relationships, business partners, and where it's caused distrust based on past encounters where we've associated somebody's motives, our experiences with that person, and tried to blame money, which is really just the energy flow that's neither good nor bad. It's how we use it that matters most. And if you're a good person, if this is where you're attracting that same energy, what you do with it becomes revolutionary. Do you use it to change the world for the positive or for the negative, right? That revolves around within each and every one of us. So Venus is going to be refining our awareness to the patterns, dynamics at play between ourselves and others, with helping us reflect on how we give, how we receive, how we co-create. And she's asking us to listen with empathy, speak with kindness, act with fairness and diplomacy by standing, acting, speaking, showing up as our best selves. And she's reminding us that our connections thrive when there is true balance, when needs are honored with equal care. And if that resonates, if that just gave you goosebumps like it did me, because my arm hairs are standing even though I've got a sweater on here, this is where truly you will find this beautiful freedom that Venus in Libra creates for us Virgos. In particular, it's going to hit your second house. Get ready to receive. There's some gifts that she's giving us in very tangible forms and tangible assets. And we'll talk about some key dates. But before we get there, this is where the bondage is being released. The chains are being severed. This is overcoming evil, detaching from unhealthy forces, and the tendency to be tempted at what glitters, because it's not necessarily gold. But like I say, same thing as I did my floor, walking on water every day is a miracle worth praying for and waking up to each and every single day. And that is what she's giving us here. So, like I was saying before here as well, when we value fairness, reciprocity, cooperation, connection, when we're cognizantly cultivating with grace, elegance, we create authentic peace. And this is where you never chase. Instead, you become your own work of art and your greatest masterpiece. And what I love most about Venus in Libra season as well, because it's not just about cooperation and compromise. There's some discernment involved as well. So what I love most about with Venus is in her home, we also have the opportunity to observe our relationships to conflict, disagreements, compromise. So this transit asks us to examine, thank you, the ways in which we might compromise too much for the sake of harmony, where we resist compromise altogether as well. So again, it's our motives behind things, what truly is there in why we're doing things. And when we remove ourselves, we stop chasing and we start attracting, especially when we contribute and we look at what our service has to offer to the collective, because we're all connected. There's this greater piece of it that we're tapping into with her. So this is really too as well, Venus is helping us with refining our ability to discern the difference at a micro and a macro level during this time between authentic harmony, true peace, and false peace and false blind conformity. So I'll say that again, especially because Pluto's direct right now. She is helping us refine our ability to discern the difference between authentic harmony and true peace and false peace and blind conformity. She'll be helping us learn how to navigate conflict, disagreements more skillfully, and to understand when confrontations are necessary and when they're not, and how to navigate them. So what really comes to mind is like, I really love what Portland has been doing. Here it is. It's like basically there's an antagonistic nature where it's almost like the ICE raids in a lot of ways, the infringements upon our humanitarian rights, how we treat each other, is really looking for an excuse to cause riots, right? In a lot of ways. But instead, what people are doing is they're like not only smiling in the face of adversity, they're making adversity smile back at them. So like, let's have a dance party as a protest with a drum circle and a whole bunch of trumpets and trombones while we're at it. Like, let's break out the electric slide and let's wear some inflatable costumes while we're at it as well. It's bringing that humor, that high vibrational energy that comes with it, where it's like you call us something. You want to defame our character and say that we're this hell, that there's this tyranny involved with all of us. There's dissociation and diversity there's all this confrontation, and knowing how to, instead they're coming back and they're rising up to it and saying, yeah, there's this conflict. Here's my frog costume. Like, do you want to do a little dance with me? Or too, same thing with what I love most is like even like the Boston Tea Party. The Boston Tea Party, here it was like, yeah, it made a lot of people overseas pretty angry, right? Let's not lie about that. But in the same regard, we call it a party for a reason. People came together. And too, just think about all the good that came from it. We had so many caffeinated fish in that harbor. That harbor was probably the cleanest harbor it's ever been. Those fish were working overtime. There was win-win solutions here. That's what this is all about. And that's where Venus is lightening that load, lightening the energy in such a beautiful way and helping us understand when confrontations are necessary and how to navigate them and when they're not. Biggest thing. So this is really where when conflicts come up, it's like I say, it's defending with vigilance, but it's also knowing that overprotection, guarding yourself in a way with negative aspects, with suspension, with waiting, with friction, doesn't allow us to shine light of truth on what's hidden, right? Those hidden motives. And also too, when we compromise too much, when we conformed with blindness, when we resist compromise altogether as well, it holds us back from that sacral energy, right? Using our wounds and taking the wisdom from it so that we can complete these lessons, attain our true desires, what we deserve, integrate those lessons, and end the cycle of oppression and exploitation in such a big way. This is also too at the Page of Pentacles. As you can see, he's cherishing that coin. This is good news about money, career, education, and home, and it starts from the center. How you nourish it, how you let beauty surround you, inspire you, and elevate you to attune to those higher frequencies with enthusiasm so you can take charge, learn where you need to, right? But take charge in learning new skills. Take charge in being open to new opportunities, being open and opening doors for new employment opportunities, collaborations as well, because she is also about those social connections, right? Those relationships. This is taking inspired action with diligence and initiation with that Aries energy, especially when it comes to creating your financial security, your home security, your comforts, enjoying the pleasures of life, of your home life, what everything can provide for you when you open yourself up and serve with the same value, right? And to adapt, embrace change, rather than with fear, run away from it or remain stagnant because of it. This is looking at, and this came out 50-50, right? So let's talk about this. This is embracing change with the Hierophant. Any type of instability, this is creating profitability, right? Looking at variation and creating open doors, rising to challenges, looking at where things need to heal, where things need to adapt, where things need to adjust and fluctuate, and tapping into that divine creative flow, especially with the crown chakra being lit up here. This is embracing that Fool Shoes energy on a new journey, your inspired action, and creating your authentic peace. This is looking at those traditional values, right? The subjections, the exploitations, the conventions, the norms, the inclination to really create comforts the way that we were culturally programmed to perceive, and instead flipping the script, liberating yourself from obedience, going against the grain and pursuing your individuality, because you are meant to shine with all your talents, with all your skills, your inner resources, by doing what lights you up, shining with that peacock energy, right? Going against the grain with non-traditional education, because you know what you know. You were born with it and you carried it, not only in your soul contracts, in your past lives, but through all of our collective creation. This is looking at all that earth energy and holding what's sacred and bringing it into the here and now, especially with us Virgos. I mean, this is our time. Venus in Libra is serving us in such a beautiful way. So with the Eight of Pentacles, and again, this is Virgo energy, this speaks to your stability with the 8. And remember, 8 is our abundance number numerologically speaking. This is calling your justice, standing in your personal power, holding judgment, and standing in your fortuity with being inspiration in action and attracting your harvest, your success, rather than chasing a dream that was planted for you and planted in you, as opposed to planting your own seeds and pouring all that you are, all that you value and love into the seeds that you sow. And if that resonates, like I say, by all means, like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, because on the flip side, this is basically working harder and burning out, right? Squandering your talents and your gifts. Going with the grain of, you got to go to school and get into like $80,000 in debt, have a 300 now with inflation, $400,000 home, again in debt, same thing with your car, and be enslaved and entrapped when it comes to your tangible assets, and that those, looking outside yourself, are what is going to bring you your authentic peace, and realizing that it's only meant to truly divert your focus from what you're able to create. Because on the upright, this is following your aspirations. This is also taking in new opportunities of education, knowing that your hard work, with pouring your heart into it, your concentrated efforts, your diligence, and your talent, your craft, what you were born to do and made to do, developing and growing, is what truly helps you receive and will achieve all that you desire, all that you deserve, with your Eight of Pentacles. And again, that's your financial security, your tangible assets, showcasing your talents. You've got something to offer that no one else in this world can do. We are all unique. We all signed up for our path. No one can replicate us in what we do, in what we're made to do, in what we're made of. How we in truth nourish those seeds. Let beauty inspire us. How we elevate our lives, make those choices. We're gifted with that free will. No one can take that from you unless you consent. right? And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below. Let me know. Now, let's talk about some key dates, because this is truly where you're standing up for yourself, navigating conflict with a smile, not necessarily Viking style, like you know what I mean, but more like the inflatable unicorn and frog style. But so key dates to pay attention to. And I know if you've seen the weekly read, check that out. Or, you know, the 13th was a big day. Pluto went direct. We had a half moon in Cancer. We had Venus moving into Libra. I'm recording this now on the 14th. If you've seen the monthly reading as well, you know that Venus is playing a huge role this month. And truly, now that she's in Libra, in our second house, on the 14th, today, when I'm recording this, big day right away. She's coming in with a bang. So Venus is trine with Uranus and Pluto, and all together between the three of them, they're creating this grand air trine between, that flew out, between our second, our sixth, and our 10th houses. So that's our house of worth, as we've already talked about. That's also with Pluto, that's our house of work. That's our home for Virgos, being a sign of service, lifestyle, living life on our terms with Pluto in Aquarius. Innovation, working smarter, not harder. Also, too, Uranus is in Gemini, our sister sign, ruled by Mercury, in our 10th house. That's our house of career, reputation, honors, achievements, right? Truly getting the value out of what we invest in, our time, our money, and our energy. Pouring all of our love into it with innovation. So this is truly, the 14th can be described as your heart's revolution. And it's one that no one on this earth in this lifetime has experienced before. Uranus has not been in Gemini in 84 years. Pluto hasn't been in Aquarius since the American Revolution, like 225 to 250 years ago, basically. So expect with this day unexpected ideas related to your career and income to come in. Epiphanies in such a beautiful way that light you up with inspiration. It could be a creative project that leads you to unexpected financial gain. This could be an unanticipated job offer that pushes you into uncharted territory. Collaboration as well. Truth be told, true story, I had one come in today. There you be. Either way, this is changes in daily work habits that lead to additional financial doors opening. It also has a lot of transformative healing centered around insecurities, self-worth, financial stability. This is where, because we also have Venus opposing Neptune, she's creating this tension with Neptune, which really is aligning us to our dream life, right? Neptune in Aries in our 8th house of transformation, they're kind of looking at your relationships, what you're doing, and basically helping you ask, like, is it worth it, right? Is following my dreams worth it? Is reaching for my dream life worth it? So at the same time that Neptune is asking you, like, is this worth it? Do you want to conform blindly? Venus is saying, but look at what else we can offer. Look at how much higher we can rise when we pour our soul, our heart into the seeds that we sow. Put balance and harmony in our relationships, our partnerships with ourselves, finances, and partnerships like love, family, business partnerships, and create an authentic peace with romance on our hearts, right? This is where the trine and Neptune, Venus, all of this coming together is such a prolific thing. It's transformative healing, because Neptune's just basically asking you at this time, is this really, like, is it really worth it? He's tempting you of, like, do you want to go the easy way? Do you have more lessons to learn in your South Node in Virgo in the first house? Or are you ascending to your 7th house in Pisces, or North Node, know what I meant, in your 7th house in Pisces, focusing on your relationships, right? All that healing of insecurity, self-worth, financial stability is truly opening the door. And too, keep in mind, we've got the Sun in Libra, forming the second grand air trine in, again, our 6th, our 10th, and our 2nd houses. This is gorgeous energy. So today, I'm so curious as a cat. I purposely waited for today to see what you guys had coming in today. Share in the comments below what doors opened with this grand trine, because what I'm seeing is this healing is really associated to slow action, feeling out of control, right? That's the South Node aspect with wanting to control. This is releasing it, and again, stop chasing it, but instead attract it. This is remaining stagnant, right? Procrastination, fear of bad news in a lot of ways, and particularly when it comes to the Empress in reverse, it's that fear of failure, self-limiting beliefs, fear of standing against conflict and knowing the discernment of what battles to fight, right? Having a weakened maternal energy, which Venus in Libra, that's the yang, right? She's in her divine feminine because you're fearing no results. This is where doors are opened, and like I say, we've got the solar plexus lit up with abundance and also synergy, with being supported with that heart chakra in such a beautiful way. So use this energy, share what kind of came in this, like what happened today. I'm so curious for each and every one of you, because it's going to be different for each and every one of us, right? Now on the 19th, Venus will also be conjunct with the moon. Both happen to be in Libra and in our second house. So expect a boost in financial prospects and opportunities for wealth. So basically the 14th is this turning point in October, just in case you haven't seen the monthly read, where all these doors start opening. I'm sorry, that's just awesome that that fell out. This is where, like I say, if Venus is not your favorite planet by the end of October, I don't know what to tell you. This is the day on the 14th where things start really changing. And on the 19th, when she is conjunct with the moon, with both the moon and Venus being in Libra in our second house, expect a boost, and a very big one. So this is financial prospects, opportunities for wealth, creation. Income matters are going to improve in a very big way with gains from creative endeavors, from partnerships, or even diplomatic negotiations. So how that can manifest. This is an excellent time for family business. This is an excellent time for investments. This is an excellent time to negotiate that raise. Remember too, the moon will also be trine with Uranus and Pluto, creating another grand air trine. I know, I hope you're doing a happy dance right now. That's all and the high priestess at the bottom. What? Loving this. So we also have another grand trine happening on the 19th. Grand air trine. And we have this new moon in Libra on the 21st. So pay attention truly. If you haven't seen the weekly read or the monthly read, check those out, because between the 17th and the 21st, it's big. Just expect to have some big movement, and everything is aligning for you. And this is where you are truly magnetized with Venus in Libra. So on the 25th as well, the moon is going to be sextile with Venus. And this time the moon is going to be in Sagittarius in our fourth house. That's like family, home. Also too, we have a grand water trine formed on 10/22, on the 22nd, 3 days before. And that is between Neptune, now back in Pisces along with Saturn, in our 7th house, same as our North Node. And the grand water trine is between Neptune, Saturn, and Jupiter. Saturn and Neptune are in Pisces in the 7th house. The North Node's tied in there as well, right? Jupiter's in our 11th house in Cancer, exalted. He brings positivity out of everything, blesses it with luck, opportunity, fortune. In our 11th house of hopes, dreams, wishes, aspiration, humanitarian efforts, collective conscious creation. And keep in mind too, Juno, Jupiter's wife, is in Sagittarius, in our 4th house, right alongside the moon. So on the 25th, this sextile will require action. I just want to put that out there to fully realize its energy. So take inspired action. Mark your calendars for October 25th, because there's a big opportunity for financial growth here, and it stems from expanding your horizons and pursuing new interests. So this could be an opportunity for investment, a new business venture from your home, or even a beneficial move. There's movement here. There's expansion here. Remember, Sagittarian energy is all about truth and standing in your truth. This is a day that's going to require movement, and it's going to create a very big open door for you, especially with that grand water trine being activated as well. And remember, Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, Jupiter in Cancer. In your 7th house of partnerships, commitments, relationships, Venus, our planet of relationships and love, beauty, and we've got structure now. We've got dream life now. And we've got Jupiter in our 11th house, exalted in Cancer. Hopes, wishes, dreams. Something big. I absolutely love it, and I've got goosebumps. Can't help it. But this is where, with the 9 of Pentacles, this is success, prosperity, material comfort, enjoying the fruits of your labor, right? Stepping forward into your new beginning with confidence. Self-discipline. That's Saturn talking all the way. He's boosting you. And I will say, too, we also have this wonderful situation with Saturn where we have this beautiful trine between Jupiter and Saturn that comes to fruition on the 20th. This is where Saturn, normally our planet of karma, discipline, structure, legacy, also money, right? Is working, can be rough, can do it like my way or the hard way kind of situation when he wants change. He's working for you in such a beautiful way, and he's trining Jupiter, our planet of luck, optimism, good fortune. What? Blessings. Remember, Venus at this point is creating authentic peace. Good news, standing in your independence, raising your state of consciousness, standing 10 toes down with that Virgo energy. And she's given you a big blessing during this time. And it just gets better from here. We're not even done yet. But this is truly knowing that you're supported, achieving your goals, attaining your success, integrating your lessons, writing abundance, writing joy, writing love into your soul's contracts, and attracting all that you desire, all that you deserve, and never chasing it or feeling like it's out of reach again. This is where, with the King of Cups, you're standing and you're holding that cup, like I say, dreaming as big as the universe, and achieving it with innovation between that Piscean energy and that Aquarian energy. That's Pluto talking here, revolutionary, right? Heart's revolution. And 2, dreaming as big as the universe. And remember, we've got the North Node, Neptune, Saturn, all in that Piscean energy. Piscean energy also, too, I will say, is our opposite sign. So, amazingly, they are like the kings of creative flow, right? The kings of emotional management, compassionate leadership, servant leadership in a lot of ways as well. It's also about coming together. They have such a strong focus on connection. So this is truly about your social skills and coming together in your collaborations, in a professional environment, in your craft, and in your manifestations, your emotions and your intuitions, your spirit, your desires, and centering all of that with the inner self, that authentic peace. And right afterwards, we've got the Knight of Cups too. This is lofty thoughts. Like I say, this is the time to dream as big as the universe, because we're not even done yet. So on the 30th, so check this out. First, we have a conjunction with the moon while it's in Libra. Then we have a sextile with the moon while it's in Sagittarius in our 4th house. Well, then on the 30th, the moon is going to be trine with Venus. And this time, the moon is in our 6th house. Numerologically, the house of harmony, right? In Aquarius, right alongside with Pluto. I hope you just got goosebumps right there, because my ears started ringing big time. So this is one to truly pay attention to. On October 30th, there's this natural synergy, this natural harmony being elevated even further beyond Venus, beyond Libra, beyond our 2nd house, and now with our 6th house, an ease. So it's going to be creating this synergy between your earnings and your work, and it's tied through your connections and your creative endeavors. There's something here that you're implementing, whether it be in your approach to your work-life balance, your wellness, your health, negotiating a raise, attracting a new business opportunity, new business ventures, even a collaborative effort that's bringing opportunity and financial gain. Your work is aligned with your values, and your work is also aligned, not just tied, but aligned to your financial security, and it's creating this beautiful emotional security as well, which is also going to further amplify your manifestations. This is truly, like you see, he's holding his his cup. Now you're taking that cup and you're moving to new horizons in every action that you do with your work. And again, this is Mars and Mercury talking, right? We've got that scorpionic energy, particularly Mars, the ruler of that Scorpio energy, in your work, in your collaborations, in your compassion, your passionate energy, and following your intuition. This is also too in your communications. So it's building your brand, launching your business, working on your PR, your marketing, how you're getting your name out there, having these lofty thoughts and pursuing them, taking inspired action with passion behind it, and you're magnetizing, you're charming, you're coming across and connecting with people at a deep level that connects all of us together, touches them in a very personal way, and you're going to feel this. You're going to be tapped in a very emotional way, in a very innovative way. You're leveraging tools, leveraging AI, your social media. Something here is creating a very big opportunity, and it's going to lead to financial gain in a very prolific way. Now, on the 2nd, of course, it comes around. So on the 2nd, I just want you to mark your calendars, pay attention to this, because as we enter November, all of what's lifted you up in October with Venus in Libra, you're standing in the High Priestess, and that's truly about embracing the dualities. Remember the yin and yang, the masculine and the divine feminine, right? So on the 2nd, Venus will be square Jupiter. At the same time, Venus is also going to be opposing Chiron, which is in retrograde in Aries in our 8th house, right? Transformation, shared resources, death and rebirth. Venus squaring with Jupiter is all about indulgence versus discipline. So this is this chance. We've had all this success coming in. This is truly looking at, again, how we, especially just going back to money, how we receive, how we attract rather than chase. So with this energy, with this square, it's going to basically present a chance for us to appreciate finding balance and enjoying the sweets of life, but also recognizing the importance of moderation and how that moderation allows us to truly cherish so that we don't take for granted. So this is the kind of day of having cake for breakfast is fabulous on your birthday, but having cake for breakfast each and every day, you're gonna hate it, right? At a certain time, you're gonna look at cake and be like, oh, can I have something else? Or you're going to take it for granted, right? You're going to not appreciate it. So this is truly about teaching us that discipline and truly understanding the gift of moderation. And like I say, if you had $1 billion, asking your friend, or asking yourself, asking your friend money, how you treat it, how you honor it, how you respect it, how you spend it, and how you choose to trade it for. So with all this money opportunity coming in, you may have a surplus. You may be tempted to overspend on luxuries now, to really go out and kind of splurge. This is where instead, Jupiter and Venus, I can talk, don't know why I can't right there, but either way, they're asking you to truly look at, if you had $1 billion, now that you've achieved all these open windows, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with that energy value of trade, that energy flow of trade? How are you going to use it to benefit yourself, provide for your family, support your community, create stability in your life, provide a home, food, experiences in your life? Or are you going to spend it as if it's not honored, it's not valued, it's not respected, right? So this is truly a great day. And I will say, with the duality that's presented to us in our partnerships, utilizing the wisdom, right? That universal order of laws of attraction and reciprocity, honoring the vitality of the energy flow. With that opposition with Chiron, remember Chiron's our wounded healer. So this is going to be offering us this beautiful opportunity to become aware of how past wounds still potentially affect us when it comes to our relationships, how we relate with others, how we relate with our sense of self-worth, our financial situation, our financial security, tangible assets, how we showcase our skills, our talents, our inner resources that light us up, and how we nourish them, how we honor them, how we connect with them and create harmony. So this is going to give us a huge opportunity for healing, for growth, for deeper self-awareness, particularly when it comes to cherishing the sweets of life, the beauty of life, and letting it surround us, right? But again, recognizing that eating cake like for breakfast every single day versus on our birthday means a whole lot less, just like inflation happens, as opposed to when we cherish it when it comes around. So if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below. Let me know any of your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe, because we're not even done yet. So there's one more beautiful lesson that Venus has for us before she moves into Scorpio in our third house on November 6th. So November 4th, Venus will be opposite the moon, and this time the moon is in Aries in our 8th house of transformation. Remember, Chiron is there too in retrograde. So just to put this out there, there may be some sort of a conflict happening here with shared resources, with taking on debt, potentially with that test of overspending on luxury. This may be, how to put that, like buyer's remorse comes into point or comes into mind. Or even too, a conflict when it comes to joint investments, right? And remember, that's business partners. That can even be banking systems. It doesn't have to, and it can be shared resources in the home, family, centered around home and family. So this is where this opposition with Venus and the moon is going to require compromise. It'll uncover a deeper understanding in your emotional vulnerabilities that help teach you how to manage your finances, how to manage your emotions, and embrace both, how to manage your conflict in your relationships, and help you to embrace them in a more balanced way that leads to greater financial and emotional empowerment. This is where, with the Seven of Pentacles, you're looking at what you're investing in, and truly looking at, more importantly, the return on investment, return on your harvest, celebrating the progresses, right? The cooperation, the compromise that needs to happen. It's not always just about really looking at the value, right, in what you give versus what you receive, what you attract versus what you chase. This is basically looking at reflection in how you're planning, how you're managing, and it's leading to giving you financial and emotional empowerment, especially when it comes to your home, your stability, your creature comforts, and the structure that you build with your financial management, and how that's all tied to your tangible assets, your self-worth, what you do. Remember, we've got Uranus here. Career is tied in. Pluto's here. Innovation is tied in, and it's aligned, making sure that it's aligned to your spirituality, your wisdom, in such a beautiful way. So this is the day to truly pay attention to. What really comes to mind as well in a big way is it's going to have you look at the importance of, again, do you want to follow that life where you've got this 4-bedroom home with 3 baths when you don't have any kids and it's just you, or you and your hubby, you and your spouse, you and your wife? Do you want to invest in 10 more cats or 5 dogs and give them each a shared bedroom? Or is it more about having the financial freedom, the empowerment of where you can choose to make your path and choose your path, have the freedom to embrace the magic of life and the alignment of resilience against any adversity, any volatility that comes into your situation in your surroundings, right? This is a beautiful day of empowerment. That's all I'm going to say. It's gorgeous. And it's right after all that healing with Chiron. This is special. So this is where you're truly embracing your past, releasing the past, embracing your path, releasing the past. Know what I meant? And starting a new journey. So you've got something here. Venus is liberating you. Like I say, this is your heart's revolution, attracting all that you deserve, all that you desire, never chasing again, and recognizing that with that comes the opportunity and the service that you offer to embrace the spiritual teacher, the healer, and help others find their way with that knowledge. Because remember, that knowledge is priceless. And only you've got something within you through your life story, what you've gained with that wisdom along the way that no one else can offer, in your skills, in your talents, in your inner resources, whatever has lit you up. This is where you're rising above challenges and you're letting your soul sing and persevering and showing other people how to do that as well, because love is the universal language that endures. And this is where you then again remember what seeds you pour into, pouring all that value into the seeds that you sow. This is where all of that will be attracted back to you through the harmony in your relationships, your partnerships, your relationship with your finances, how they contribute to your security, and the insight in what your talents, your skills, your craft, your mastery has to truly offer, to truly elevate the world around you in everyone and everything that you connect with. This is finding that path. By the end of this season, when she moves into Scorpio season, you're going to be not only walking inspiration, but you are embracing your transformation with courage, letting go of the past, again, double confirmation, healing from it, not letting the past define you, but embracing the magic of the nature that's within you and shining with that peacock energy, like I say, because you're brilliant and you are blessed. Venus is giving us, Virgo, such a gift, and it's setting us all up for success when it comes to self-reliance and resilience. You are strongly independent with this Venus in Libra energy. This is integrity. This is standing in your values and witnessing the best outcomes that it brings you. This is also about using your intuition to let your life unfold in silent perfection, because remember, the universe gives us what we truly need and offers us, attracts in, when we're in this energy, that authentic peace, our heart's revelations and revolutions. She delivers us. I don't know why I called the universe a she. She and he. The androgynous universe of both delivers us far greater than we can ever possibly imagine and create just from the ego. So this is aligning not only with your highest purpose, your soul's calling, but with your highest timeline in the multiverse that as observers, as co-creators, we get to choose what we attract towards us. And if that all resonates, like I say, by all means, share your thoughts, like, share, subscribe, because truly that's the way that the algorithms, you guys, are the way that all your interactions help elevate these messages and get them to the ears that need to hear them. So before we go as well, for everyone that meditates, because let me tell you, this is the time to tap in to this energy, to those higher vibrational energies, those frequencies, and make sure that you're tapped into attracting all that you deserve and desire. If you meditate with improv, what we pulled is the G sharp, the F sharp, the C sharp, the A, and the F. And then color therapy, what we pulled is we've got 2 greens, red, heart chakra, root chakra, all the way, indigo star seed energy, and purples. So we've got crown chakra lit up here as well. So I truly hope that this reading helps. I am sending you guys so much love and light. Take care, and I will see you in the next